Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last week I've been driving the 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Up front is a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm super excited to be making this video here today because I've spent the last week driving the Ranger Raptor, and I gotta tell ya, I love this thing for many, many reasons. I am also very, very fortunate to where I also had an LC500 this week, so I have had the absolute dream garage for the weekdays and the weekends, but I'm excited to share this Ranger Raptor with you today. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 3.0 liter twin turbo V6 making 405 horsepower. Well, that is part of the reason of what makes the Ranger Raptor special. The only way to get the 3-liter twin turbo is in the Raptor trim level. Now, you can get a turbocharged V6 in other Rangers. That is a 2.7-liter turbo V6, but this is the big dog. This is also what comes in the Bronco Raptor, and I really like this engine, especially in this application. It actually feels sportier and better in the Ranger Raptor than it does in the Bronco Raptor, so that has definitely been nice to see. I've never felt like it really needed much more power, although a Coyote Ranger would be pretty cool. With that engine, I've averaged 18.5 miles to the gallon. Not anything stellar, but we'll talk about why that's actually pretty good later on. Like I said, paired to it is that 10-speed automatic. Shifts really well, no complaints. It's not the fastest transmission I've ever felt in the world, but it does the job, and it has done the job very well here in the Ranger Raptor. Last but not least, the Ranger Raptor is 4-wheel drive, and we'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on, but this also does have automatic 4-wheel drive, which isn't available on all Rangers or even all F-150s, so that's a cool option that we'll talk about. How does it feel to drive the Ranger Raptor? Well, besides feeling like a king on earth, it's very good. The suspension is great, and there's 3 different suspension modes that you can pick from, which are super helpful. The steering is also adjustable. You can make it stiffer, you can make it softer. You can also make it louder and quieter, which we'll talk about, so you do get a pretty customizable experience in the Ranger Raptor. Visibility is decent, and I love driving this thing. As a daily driver, this is absolutely wonderful. It's not too rough around the edges, and yet you can still have fun when you push that pedal all the way down, which is very, very nice. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have completely digital gauges. Off to the left, we do have the tachometer. In the centers, the coolant temperature, oil pressure, transmission temperature, and fuel. And off to the right is the speedometer. With a customizable section in the center, you could get a lot of information here, which is very, very helpful. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our adaptive cruise, as well as volume and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our suspension settings, steering settings, skip track, exhaust settings, and our R button, which is basically your My mode, so you can customize this to automatically chuck it into a certain mode if you have your preferences. The steering wheel also says Raptor on it, as well as it has a red/orange line up at the top, so when you're driving in the mud, you could tell when your wheels are straight, as well as paddle shifters around the back. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, and down below, we have the headlights, fog lights, and gauge dimmer switch. And moving out of the door, we have lock and unlock, 3 levels of memory seats, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get our infotainment display. This is very tall and vertical. It does have 2 climate vents on either side, and this is the Sync 4 system, which incorporates wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is also hooked up to a B&O sound system, which does sound great. And overall, it's relatively easy to use. There are some buttons for the climate controls ran through the screen. However, as far as I can tell, almost all of them have a physical counterpart just down below. So if you want to use the screen, you can. That might be easier for some people, or you could use the physical buttons, which is what I prefer. So nice to see both of those together. Down below that, we do have USB-C as well as USB-A and a wireless phone charger. We have the shifter in the center, cup holders off to the right that failed the big friggin' bottle test. Power parking brake, and then we have our parking assist, our traction control off, auto start stop on and off, and our trail button. And off to the right, we have our drive mode select and four-wheel drive select. So drive modes, we have a bunch to go through: sport, normal, tow haul, slippery, and then we have off-road, Baja, and rock crawl. Baja is for the Raptor. Absolutely love that touch. But then we have our four-wheel drive settings on the top. So like I said, we have 2 high, 4 low, and 4 automatic. So very nice to see all of that. Then we do get a center console and the seats. The seats are heated. They are comfortable and they have the Raptor logos on them. I would say they're actually more comfortable than a lot of other seats in this segment. The Ranger, even in its non-Raptor format, has very, very comfy seats. They add a lot of foam to the bottom of it, and I have to say I really, really enjoy that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor, and a couple of things to note. First of all, my knees are hitting the seat in front of me, but my head is not hitting the ceiling. The driver, me, could be a little bit nicer and move up. The biggest thing, and this is the first of many comparisons we'll draw between this and the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, is that this doesn't have stupid suspension seats that take up all of the back seat space. The Tacoma TRD Pro has these suspension seats, but it eats up the entire back seat. You cannot fit people in the back seat of the Tacoma TRD Pro when those seats are option, and that's what my truck had. So these are way better because I can actually put people back here. That's pretty great. I give this back seat a thumbs up. Let's hop out, we'll take a quick look at the bed, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the Ranger Raptor, we do have a handle here, and it's a really traditional tailgate. It does have struts, or at least a single strut over there to help it lower easily, but it's not power, it's not anything special. A little bit of cost savings here, but I'm happy because that price tag is absolutely wonderful. Once we are back here, we do get 2 wall outlets. Very, very nice to see that. A 12 volt and a standard wall. And this is Ford's Tough Bed spray-in bed liner. Nothing really too crazy back here, but again, I like how simple it is. It's still a pickup truck for its pickup truck needs. And you have this sweet Raptor badge across the back. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I love, love, love the look of the Ranger Raptor. I think it looks a healthy dose better than the standard Ranger. This is finished in cactus gray, and I like the wheels. I like the Raptor logo on the side. I think overall this thing looks incredibly macho, and quite frankly, that's what I would want out of a truck like this. I want it to look lean. I want it to look mean on the streets, and this absolutely does. And so, I love it. Coming outside to this every day has been wonderful, and honestly, a really true joy. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Ford Ranger Raptor for the last 7 days? Well, I've put a lot of miles on this vehicle, and so I have a lot of seat time. My overarching ending argument is that this is one of the best trucks that you can buy in this class, in this segment. If towing isn't at the absolute top of your priority list, or having an 8-foot bed, this is wonderful. And let me tell you why. First of all is the price. This is $59,000, $59,045. Tax title fee, yeah, you're looking up into the 60s. But just for a price-to-price comparison, this truck is under $60,000, technically. As it sits, sticker, under 60. Compare that to what I had last week, which was a Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. That truck was $5,000 more than the Ranger Raptor. That had a smaller engine, and although that is the Hybrid Max, it got worse fuel economy than the Ranger Raptor. I averaged 18.5 here in the Ranger Raptor. The TRD Pro Tacoma, I averaged 16.5. this gets better fuel economy, and it will run on 87 octane, so you're not paying premium prices out the nose. This is going to be cheaper to operate, and it has way more horsepower. It's way more fun to drive. It has a better sound system. It looks better, in my opinion. This is the best deal of a midsize truck. And I know $60,000 is not a small amount of money. However, Cars.com recently did their American-made index. They survey all car prices across the board sold here in the US. The average vehicle transaction price is $50,000. The average American-made vehicle, which this truck is $53,000. So this is only $7,000 more than the average American-made vehicle. This is certainly $7,000 more of a truck, more of a vehicle, more of an absolute unit than the average. This is well above average, and it's only $7,000 more than the average new car price. Whether you want to believe it or not, this is a killer deal. You get so much vehicle for that number, and it is really, truly staggering. This is also the most affordable Raptor. If you want to get into the full-size Raptor, you're looking up into the 70s without even thinking about the Raptor R. The Raptor R you're seeing on screen now was $110,000. The Bronco Raptor was mid-90s. This is cheaper than that by 30 grand. This truck is all wins. It's all green lights. And that's why I have truly enjoyed driving it the last 7 days. I will miss this vehicle, and I will miss the absolute all-star driveway that I had with this for the week and the LC500 for the weekends. I never thought I would ever be this fortunate, and I'm so thankful that I am. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ford for letting me borrow their Ranger Raptor for the last week. They've been absolutely awesome to work with. Huge thank you to G. Schmidt for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.